Hello, hi Monica. Okay, welcome. Right, Monica, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Fantastic.
clearly.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Whilst we're waiting for other people, um, I thought maybe we can just have a little look at a little self-introduction. I thought maybe it might be interesting to um, have a look at these questions here. What I'll do is I'll just open this up a little bit more for you. Can you see my screen okay? Is that easier, Monica, there?
Yeah.
How about that, Monica? Would you like to try to answer these questions just as a general way of maybe another practice of self-introduction?
Okay. Um, do you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, I'll just we've got 5 questions, Monica. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if that might help. Actually, I know that these sometimes is another way. There's many ways, isn't there, to introduce yourself? But I'm just looking at some ideas in the sense of in the theme of English as well. That's what we hear as well. So I'm just thinking about, you know, I think in this case, what's your name, where you currently live, where you're originally from, if it's the same place, and what is your town or not country, county, or district? I think the town or city. What's it well known for? Or maybe we can, discuss a little bit about that. Is it because lots of different places around Taiwan have their own particular interest. I think Kaohsiung may have its particularly well known for something. Sometimes we talk about food as well, actually. Sometimes we say that's very famous for, or even like, for example, sometimes in Hualien is jade and other things that around that area. But everywhere there's maybe some sort of, maybe it's something that's quite well known for something. Just something I want to spark that thought with you, what you currently do, and what interests you about English. Okay.
Okay. Should I get started?
Yeah, see how you go. Just we can.
Okay. My name is Monica. Presently I live in Kaohsiung, and I originally come from Tainan City. Kaohsiung is famous for Love River for sure. Everyone knows Love River. Once you come to Kaohsiung, and you can have a stroll around the bank of the Love River,
Oh
and
yes.
have a good sight of the cafe. There are many cafes along the Love River, and there are many sparkling lights at night when you
Oh.
visit Love River. And
Hmm.
you can also visit the I the warehouse, the warehouse. I think the old warehouse was transformed into art section nearby the Love River. Usually the tourists will visit the two places together because they are so close. Yeah.
Wow. Gosh, I just want to say, Monica, is this Kaohsiung National Stadium?
Ah, but what I just talked about is not Kaohsiung National
Sorry,
Stadium.
I got carried away. No, you're right. Apologies for that. Let's just have a look. It's yes, you mentioned about the Love River.
Yeah, the
Wow,
Love
that's
River, and yeah,
beautiful.
and it's very close to the Kyle, the
Right. Hmm.
the art Kyle, or something. Yeah.
Right, right. No, I think yeah, it's just a side point. What is this? Kujing Island. Is that just
Chijin Island, but that is another way. Another way. Chijin Island is on the way of Sichuan. It's more close to Sichuan. It's another way. You
another
have to
way? Right.
you have to take a boat.
Oh, right.
You have to
Okay.
take a
Right.
boat to Chijin. But
Cheating.
it
Right.
only takes about 10 minutes
Right, right.
So it's not a, it's not a very inconvenient. It's not a very inconvenient.
Convenient.
Uh,
Oh, it's not very convenient. Convenient, Monica, right? It looks, the picture looks very, very beautiful, but maybe it's out of context. Hello, Gary. Good to see you. Welcome.
Hello,
Gary, and where are you from, Gary?
I'm from Kaohsiung.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, let's just go back to Monica. Let's finish off with, yeah, you know what, it is a difficult one, isn't it? How would you describe, what is Kaohsiung famous for? I mean, I always think of it as is it like an industrial town? Or it's well known for its port as well, isn't it? There's I think, is it the largest seaport in Taiwan, isn't it? Kaohsiung.
yeah, Kaohsiung Port. Some people will visit Kaohsiung Port, especially
Mm.
at dawn. Yeah, it was quite beautiful. It's quite beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
Did they have like a sea market, seafood markets there?
Seafood.
That's seafood
Yeah,
markets.
yeah.
No?
You can have seafood in Qijing.
Oh, Chiding. All right. Well, yeah, I must have a look at that. I must explore. Thank you. It's an interesting area. Right. Anyway, so what again do you do, Monica?
What do I do?
Yes.
Presently, I work in a company. Yeah. Then what interests me about English? I think what interests me the most is not English but the language. Learning the language is like opening the window of of another world.
Okay.
You are learning a culture through the language. Yeah. So not just I also have some experience learning Japanese, Spanish, and Korean. But I'm not. But my Japanese is but only my Japanese is communicable. My Korean and Spanish is rusty, and I couldn't even remember any of the words. But just I just start to phrase to refresh my Spanish
Right.
last week. I joined a pronunciation course.
Well done, Monica. Gosh, Spanish.
The other day. The tuition is quite cheap.
Okay, right. Okay.
Because it's an online pronunciation course. It costs just about 300 or something, but I think it's a good start to refresh my Spanish. I haven't done anything about Spanish for 6 or 7 or maybe 10 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Then
Gosh. Wow.
when I learn my Spanish, I just learn it by myself. I didn't have much experience learning it. I couldn't even say I'm a beginner. Yeah. Survival level.
Right. Survival level. That's true, Monica. Hey, that's my Chinese level too, Monica. So I totally get. I get where you're coming from. Survival level. Hey, have you been to Spain before, Monica? Have you ever?
Spain?
Have you traveled?
No, but I visited Costa Rica and Panama a decade ago, and that is why I studied Spanish by myself. Because
I was going to ask.
Because I need to survive in that kind of place.
Yes.
I need to learn numbers. Some words for numbers and the transportations in order to get myself move around.
Right. Just did you join Greg's class of traditions? They did that on the running with the bulls. There's many traditions happening in Spain. Fascinating country. Get the chance, Monica. Well worth it. I think you'll find Spain is an amazing country. It's one of what we call a bucket list. Something I'd like to do in the future is to actually go there and explore some of their culture. Some amazing events, and there's some interesting ones coming up Tomatina, it's coming end of August, I think, is a funny one. Anyway, there's so many from Spain, but this week it's running with the bulls. Right, okay, Gary, thank you very much, Monica. That was really great. And yeah, good luck with those studies as well. And so, Gary, how you feel? Would you like to try to do a quick self-introduction? How do you feel? Like to try? Or shall I?
think I would like to try it.
Great, let's have a go. Yeah. Would you like me to read the question for you?
Okay.
Yeah, so Gary, what's your name?
My name is Gary.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Right, so okay, where do you currently live? Where do you currently live?
In Kaohsiung.
In Kaohsiung. And I take it, were you born in Kaohsiung?
Yeah.
Well done, yes. And what's Kaohsiung well known for? What's it famous for? What do you think?
I think it's the building is called the 85.
Oh, is that coffee? 85?
It's a
Sorry.
special name for it because the top roof is just like coffin or something. I forgot.
Right. So is it a type of right, okay. So but is it the second city in Taiwan? Is that correct? Is Kaohsiung the second largest city in Kaohsiung? I think that's another way to say it's the second largest city in Kaohsiung, and it has the main port, or it has the biggest port. I think it's a port city. It's something like that, isn't it? It's the major hub for Taiwan. It's the main port to Taiwan. So would you say Kaohsiung is an industrial? Monica, is Kaohsiung an industrial city?
Yeah, it is. And the building is called 85 Sky Tower.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we're
Something.
talking about.
Yeah.
Was that the one you're saying, Gary? I'll just come down here.
Yeah, this one,
Yeah.
Sky Tower.
Sky.
Because
Oh,
they
Sky
are,
Tower, 85. Oh,
you know,
right.
85 stories.
Oh, that's right. Oh, what's wrong with me? I was looking at the bridge. Okay, this is famous for. Is this one of the tallest buildings in Taiwan?
Yes, maybe the second tallest.
Second. Oh, right. 101, probably. Right. Hey, was that built before Taipei 101? Do you think?
It was the tallest before Taipei.
Ah, right. So Taipei, they wanted to get the tallest building. So Kaohsiung will have to make a taller one. What do you think? Right. All right. Anyway, who knows? Okay, but very beautiful. Okay, then. So, and of course, Gary, you're a student. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Which school are you at now? Are you in a secondary? What do you call it? What do you say? Is it junior high school? Is that where you're at?
It's just the
Is it junior or senior high school?
elementary school.
Oh, hey, really?
Elementary school.
How old are you, Gary?
13.
13. Monica, is that junior high school? 13.
The 7th grade of junior high school. So are you going to be a are you going to go to are you going junior high school the new semester?
I'm going to the secondary.
Secondary.
Right. Secondary. We call it
secondary school.
Secondary school. Hey, that's what we call it over here in England or in Britain. Our school system's a bit different. But yeah, yours is the American version. Junior high school, senior high school, I think that's whereas we go from primary school or elementary school to, hey, to junior school, junior high school, primary school, and then we go to secondary school from 11 to 15, 16, 11 to 16, and then A levels or college, A level school, senior high school, right? Oh gosh, long time.
I know the difference of the school, the schooling in Taiwan. In foreign countries, you have secondary schools. That means you study in the school for 6 years,
Yes,
containing
that's right.
junior, and the high school and the senior high school. But in Taiwan, usually we have junior high school and the senior high school separately. But we do have secondary school. This kind of school, you can study the two times of schooling together. Yes, we
Oh,
do have.
really? Oh, I see. Oh, right. That's interesting, Gary. You're a very busy boy. Okay. And Gary, big question, drum roll. Brum, brum. What is it that interests you about English?
I think speaking English can help me that I go to a foreigner and I can talk with the
Travel, maybe?
yeah. If
Yeah.
I travel, I can talk in English.
Fantastic. Well, first of all, Gary, Monica, your accent, it's good. It's obviously, you know, with time, your accent will become more natural, with more opportunity in these classes if you wish. Okay, guys, it will come naturally. And even Weston, I don't know if you met the boy Weston. He was much like yourself, Gary, but now he's so very fluent. Right, anyway, and Zona, welcome Zona. If you want to, you're welcome to join, or if you just want to watch, feel free to do so. Stephanie will be in joining us later to speak some Chinese as well. So if you're not sure or comfortable, just feel free to join or join later. And any questions you have, you're welcome to feel free to join. We talk about things, but we want to encourage and make you feel comfortable to grow personally. So it's fantastic to have Monica, Gary, and Zona. Just feel free to watch if you like. What we do here, this is one of the movies, or one of the movie classes that has been selected for this event. And what we tend to do is we have different sort of classes that's are provided each week. This is one sample that happens earlier this year, and we have a translation. So we've got some interesting words already, and what we're looking at today is this theme of, so let's see, make sure we got his name right.
Miyazaki.
Miyazaki, is that correct? Miyazaki.
Yeah, from Miyazaki.
Sorry, Monica, Miyazaki.
Yeah, I can pronounce
Thank
in
you.
Japanese way.
I need your help there, Monica. I think Miyazaki. Yeah, you know, that's brilliant. Thank you. So yeah, just step in if I do it wrong. Miyazaki. Okay, then that way. And what we're trying to do is look at some of his best movies, and then we also have some ways to describe movies. Okay, so these are some interesting phrases that I will try to help you with, and then if some of these words, if they're quite useful, then we can put them into the translate, and we share them at the end of the class, which you can take away and then do some private study. The idea is that you'll enjoy it and that you'll like to come back to this blog and take another look after the class as well. So we have a short video that shows the different types of what is regarded as the top 10 Miyazaki films from Japan. And then we have a little script here. Now, we don't necessarily go through it all. We may just pick out some points, but that's a reference to read if you wish to do so. And then we have some interesting questions. And if there's a large group, then we go into a breakout room, but generally we usually like to have a conversation. So Gary, would you like to read this? I'll just open it up. Would you like to just help read what Miyazaki statement is saying here? Okay, would you like to try?
I do believe in the power of story. I believe that stories have an important role to play in the formation of human beings, that they can stimulate, amaze, and inspire their listeners.
Well done, yes. Stimulate, amaze, and inspire their listeners. Right, so, and these are some interesting words we have here as well. So inspire. So let's just come back to that. I'll just write these in. Stimulate. So we also have other words as well, but stimulate. Oh, actually, I could do that. Oh, yes, it's a graphic. Inspire. So Gary, what do you think inspires? What sort of movies inspires you? Let's have a look. Amaze. Amaze. Let's see. Okay, inspire, amaze. I'll tell you what. We will have a look at some of his movies in a moment. I'll demonstrate a video for you. These are the top 10 movies that's been selected. Do you recognize any of these movies? So first of all, Gary, take a moment. So Monica, what do you think? Do you recognize any of these movies before?
Yes,
This,
yes. Maybe the Totoro. In
Totoro.
my age, Totoro in my age. But
Oh,
and also the Spirited Away. I read it in an article, but I've never watched the animation before because I'm not a big fan of Japanese animation.
Interesting. You know, I do remember seeing the Totoro. Listen, it's one of the most confusing movies I think I've ever seen. I still scratch. I'm trying to remember what was the Totoro. Could you remember, Monica, what it was? Is it a strange creature, right? My Neighbor Totoro. He had a big mouth, right? Or I can't remember. Do you know what it was? Was it the Totoro? Can you remember what it might have been?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Yeah, very cute, but very, anyway, very creative. Gary, your thoughts. What have you seen any of these movies at all?
Yes, Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro.
My Neighbor Totoro, right. Do you have a favorite?
I think maybe it's Spirited Away.
Spirited Away, right, okay. Spirited Away. We're going to watch the video in a moment. Just want to ask you, I think these are some of the other movies that he has made. Sorry, I thought the screen was getting a little slow there. So, okay, so there's many, he's made so many. Wow, such a wide choice, gosh. He's a busy man. Anyway, so character-wise, do you have a favorite character at all? So many. Do you recognize this cat? What was this cat supposed to be?
A bus.
A bus. I gotta say, that seems hard to imagine. I couldn't imagine that. Yeah, it's very creative. Yeah, very amazing. Yes, does any of these characters stand out? Is this from Spirited Away?
Yes.
Right, okay, we're coming on to that in a moment. So Some interesting characters. Do you recognize any, Monica, from this picture?
Yes. This one, can you see? I just pointed the I think the bus, the cat bus,
Oh, the bus.
appear in a Totoro animation.
Totoro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a,
and also the ghost map.
oh, the ghost.
Yeah,
Is that?
yeah. Many children like to mimic this
Really?
one. Yeah, because they think it's very funny.
Oh, really? Right.
I think it is called a man without face. A man without face. Yeah.
Faceless man.
Yeah, faceless man.
Faceless, right. Okay, man without a face. Very mysterious. Mysterious, isn't it? Very mysterious. We've got quite a lot of many different words here, which, by the way, is a link that we have in the reference for you. So you're welcome to click on here after the class and look at different words to describe a movie. And I would suggest that if you see a movie over the weekend coming up, or then go to how would you describe a movie? And there's different ways to do so through this link here. So the link is, that's the link there. That'll take you to here to have a look. Right, guys, okay. So let's have a look at the video. And then we can then we're going to try to look at how to describe one of these movies, or maybe just the general. There's 3 questions we have, and there's others as well, but we were just keeping in mind, what is your preferred Miyazaki? Is that right, Monica? Miyazaki film?
Yeah,
Thank you. Miyazaki, okay. How would you describe Miyazaki films? Okay, maybe. Let's see if there's, again, we're not trying to be specific, we're just general, okay? But and then, of course, what are your favorite Miyazaki characters? I think we've already looked at some of that, but, and then maybe the one that you particularly like. I think Spirited Away, people say touching, you know, so other things could be quite useful words to apply. Right, let's just have a watch of the movie. Let's sit back and enjoy. Here we go. Actually, just before I do, let's see if I can get my title. Okay, good.
Hayao Miyazaki. The name is synonymous with beautiful, fantastic worlds, imaginative design.
Just one second. I want to just double check something here. Okay, I'm looking to have this running for you. This is the extension that we lower subtitles. Let's try that again. Okay, let's continue.
Organically written characters, as well as stunning visuals and some of the most impressive animation of all time. His work is universally praised and respected by all manner of film and anime fans around the world. The sheer creative energy flowing from every frame of Miyazaki film is immediately noticeable by the youngest child to the oldest adult. It's very easy to be drawn into the magical worlds and epic plotlines that make up Miyazaki's universe. I think most people who are familiar with the source material would agree that there's a certain unique charm shared by each of his works that, while radically different in setting, theme, and character, all maintain a consistent, undeniable, almost spiritual feel. A master storyteller, knowing exactly what strings to pull and when, his films never fail to elicit an emotional response from the audience. And as a result, his work has permeated international culture so much that even if you aren't aware of his name, You've likely been exposed to his movies at some point. So today, we'll be looking at Miyazaki's films as I tribute this visionary director and talk about my favorites. Keep in mind this list is based purely on my opinion, and we're looking at feature-length films written and directed by the man himself. So short films and other Studio Ghibli productions won't be making this list. So with that in mind, I'll aboard the cat bus as we ride into my top 10 Miyazaki films. Honorable mention, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. This pre-Ghibli film follows the story of Nausicaa, a princess of a small village in a post-apocalyptic world full of giant insects and poisonous spores, as she struggles to understand the nature of the toxic forest that surrounds them while facing conflict from other humans. This one teeters on the more serious side of Miyazaki's universe and serves as a great example of his early work and the beginnings of his signature style. Number 10, Laputa, Castle in the Sky. A boy named Patsu discovers a girl falling from the sky. The girl, named Shida, is being pursued by the government, army, and sky pirates because she is in possession of a magic crystal that is key to controlling an ancient floating castle. The highlight of this entire film is the pirate's grandmother, Dola, whose journey goes from that of a ruthless pirate leader and develops into a lovable and sympathetic character. Number 9, Ponyo. Whatever this is, Goldfish named Ponyo is separated from her family and is adopted by a young boy named Sasuke, whom she falls in love with.
We'll just adjust this a little bit, so if it
Ponyo's
goes.
parents get involved,
Here
the
we go.
small mountain town is devastated by a tsunami, and the pair set out to find Sasuke's missing mother. This is one of Miyazaki's most abstract works, pushing the bounds of creativity in film through sheer imagination and amazingly detailed animation. Number 8, Porco Rosso. Marco is an ace pilot, bounty hunter, and womanizer. He's also an anthropomorphic pig. Retired after fighting for the Italians in World War I, Porco makes a living by freelance bounty hunting and escorting. The film follows the rivalry between Porco and an American pilot over bragging rights, honor, and the hand of a beautiful woman, or two, or maybe more. We've established he's a pig, right? Jokes aside, the film stays true to its setting, with Porco feeling very much like a film noir character from the 1920s or 30s. There are also some stunning air combat sequences that make this a feast for the eyes as well. Number 7, Kiki's Delivery Service. As is tradition in her family, a young witch named Kiki leaves her home for a year. Finding herself in the city, she makes a living by starting a delivery service. Focusing on characters over plot, this is one of the most heartwarming films I've ever seen. The relationships with people that Kiki encounters feel very organic, as are the situations she faces. This film tugs on your heartstrings in all the right places, as Kiki goes through the emotional highs and lows that come with coming of age. Number 6, Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. Before we had Spike from Cowboy Bebop, we had Lupin III. Charismatic and aloof, he is a master thief. After knocking off a casino only to discover the loot is counterfeit, he and his partner decide to target the source of the forgery, which leads to an epic heist plot full of beautifully animated action sequences and wonderfully written characters. Made in 1979, this is the first film on Miyazaki's filmography, and it holds up amazingly well. Number 5, My Neighbor Totoro. A family move into a countryside home and soon learn the surrounding woods are haunted by a big, lovable, dopey-looking magical creature named Totoro. The daughters of the family befriend Totoro and some of the other local magical wildlife who watch over and protect the family. Clearly on the more heartwarming side of Miyazaki's works, I would also suggest checking out the short 2010 sequel, Maya and the Kitten Bus. Number 4, The Wind Rises. Based loosely on the real-life story of Jiro Horikoshi, an aeronautical engineer in Japan during World War II, we follow his life and times as he strives to achieve his dreams. A slight departure from Miyazaki's normal style, minimizing the fantastic elements but retaining his signature focus on characters. This film feels more mature than any of his other works. Number 3, Howl's Moving Castle. A young girl named Sophie has a chance encounter with a powerful and charming wizard named Howl. Shortly afterward, she is cursed to old age by a jealous witch and becomes entwined in Howl's life as war breaks out between local nations. The highlight of this film for me is the Sophie character. While she has the appearance of an old lady, she still retains the mannerisms and vigor of a youth and adjusts to her curse very well. She acts as a great analog for the viewer, slowly unraveling the mystery surrounding Howl and befriending the various characters that surround him. Number 2, Spirited Away. A family with a young daughter named Chihiro get lost while moving to their new home, instead ending up at what seems to be an abandoned theme park. After some very poor decisions, the family is separated from their daughter, who finds herself not alone in the park, but surrounded by many ghostly apparitions. This is one of the most beautiful animated films ever made, as we follow Sen's journey into the spirit world full of unique and imaginative characters, where anything can happen. Number 1, Princess Mononoke. We follow a prince named Ashitaka, who after defeating a demon that is attacking his village, is cursed and will soon die. He is then tasked to travel west and seek the source of the evil. This was my first Miyazaki film and still my favorite even today. Miyazaki's charming characters, beautiful animation, and magical whimsy mixes very well with the gritty and violent action drama genre, delivering a roller coaster of awe and amazement. So those are my favorite films by the visionary auteur, writer, director, and animator Hayao Miyazaki, the man who has inspired and influenced countless people around the world, myself included. At the time of this video, Miyazaki is 74 years old and has recently retired from filmmaking after the release of The Wind Rises. This has been the 6th time he's retired, so it's not out of the realm of possibility to perhaps see another Miyazaki film in the future, but I wouldn't hold my breath. However, his son, Goro Miyazaki, seems set to continue the name's legacy with his first 2 films, Tales from Earthsea and From Up on Poppy Hill. The era of traditional animation has slowly been coming to an end for years. Technology advances and the old ways become obsolete. Hand-drawn animation is being phased out in favor of cheaper and quicker digital techniques. It's inevitable, but I feel these films serve as an example of how beautiful traditional hand-drawn animation can be, and that it's an art form worth preserving for future generations. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Leave a comment below. Once again, this was Fade Dragon Tier. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Great, guys. Thank you. Thanks very much. Apologies for the slight technical adjustment there. I'm still learning about the tool eJoy. It's very useful for what we want to do is have a translation whilst watching the movie for you as well. So great, fantastic. Yeah, Gary, your thoughts again, if I just come back to look after that movie or that video, would you say that your favorite, is it still Spirited Away?
I think I like My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away both.
Yeah, I mean, can you just because I know we've all seen Totoro. Let's just focus on that one to start with. How would you describe Totoro, or the movie Totoro? If we're looking at, is it, and when you're looking at the movie itself, is it the actual movie? Is it? Would you say it's like the character itself? Would you say it's cute, or is a very mysterious character, lovable character? Any ideas how you describe Totoro? Any thoughts there? Maybe Monica, have you got any suggestions there? I'm just trying to look at some of the words here. Any thoughts there? If we have a look at Totoro as a character, I'm just want to see how we can describe him. Totoro, my neighbor Totoro. Totoro, have a look at him. Is it a he? We don't know. Okay. How would you describe this character? Cute, cute. Would you like to cuddle him or her? Very cuddly, cute. It's almost like a pet. Would you like to have him as a pet? Maybe too big, right? How would you think, Gary? Would be? Would you like him as a pet?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. It looks very, very nice. Yes, it's. So anyway, we're just looking at. So yeah, I think with Miyazaki, how would you describe his films? Any words that describe? So we're just looking for certain words that could describe. And then maybe also the other question I'd like to ask is about the hand drawn at the end, the hand drawing to digital animation. But first of all, if we just have a look at the question, describing his movies, can we think of some adjectives that describe his movies? Are they like a feel good? These are adjectives, by the way. Okay, so hi Kira, welcome. We're just looking at ways to describe. This is the Miyazaki movies. Okay, so we're looking at how are we going to describe this. So just some words that we can think of here. And now we've already picked out some which are stimulate, inspire, amaze. I've thrown in mysterious. Touching, some people said. Is touching emotional? Have a look. If we have a look at with Spirited Away, is that a touching movie? Monica, what's your thoughts there?
I think yes, maybe.
Gary,
Because the characters that's on the picture, Let's Grow, he was going to save her mother and her father not to be a pig forever.
Oh, right. So she seems to see a lot of spirits, right? She seems to be able to see, is it like the spiritual world? Is that, she can see lots of, is it spirits and ghosts?
No, it's just people.
People, okay, right. Monica, did you say you've seen Spirited Away? Monica?
I just read the story on an
Nice.
article, but I've never watched this movie, any of these movies.
Yeah.
And I thought I could gain some thoughts from this course. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel that reading the novel Do you prefer to read?
Not reading the novel, just
Mhm.
reading the article about the director
Oh,
Miyazaki. Yeah.
right. Okay.
Then it mentioned then it mentioned spirit away in it in that article, because that is one of his work.
Right. Yes. Yes. It does some very creative ideas that's brought up here. I'm trying to remember the final one, the number one choice that was on the list, Princess Monaco. Let's have a look. Sorry, Princess. Mononoke. Princess Mononoke. That's the number one. Have you, Gary, Monica, have you seen this movie, Princess Mononoke?
No, I have.
No, it's
I
regarded
didn't know this movie.
kind of interesting storyline, isn't it? You know, the storyline to this Mononoke, as it's going through towards the end. So this is maybe an interesting one here. So I just thought maybe we can, let's have a look at the where we are, the My Neighbor Totoro. So let's have maybe we can just have a quick read on this one here, because I think that's because we know this one and Spirited Away. Right, okay then. So let's just take turns. So Monica, if you could just read the first sentence there.
Okay. A family moves into a countryside. A family moves into a countryside home and soon learns the surrounding woods are haunted by a big, lovable, dopey-looking magical creature named Totoro.
I think it's a good, some adjectives used here: lovable, dopey, sleepy, like dopey
looking.
Yeah. Do you know? Do you like a dopey pet? I wonder if you like. Let's have a look. Dopey pets. If I show you a picture of dopey pets, I'm not sure that's right, but they're usually very sleepy. There we are, dopey pets. Usually cats tend to dopey. Well, they're all dogs. I don't know why there should be sort of a combination. Usually dopey means sleepy, so, or lazy. Maybe if I show you dopey cats. Right. Not quite. Anyway, usually, well, I say sleepy, but dopey, maybe lazy, another way to describe it. Okay, so dopey is another description of it there. Great. Right, okay then, Gary, okay, that's number 31. If you could read that one, please.
The daughters of the family befriend Totoro and some of the other local magical wildlife who watch over and protect the family.
Great, okay. The Monica, okay, if you could read that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clearly, on the more heartwarming side of Miyazaki's work, I would also suggest checking out the short 2010 sequel, May and the Kitten Bus.
Kitten
Bus.
Kitten Bus.
Kitten Bus.
Right, that's another. Is that another movie? I guess it might be May.
But I see it's a sequel. Is related with Totoro.
Right. I'm just wondering if May and the Kitten Bus there, number 2003. May and the right, there's the bus. Right, so sometimes that happens, isn't it? Some movies, the characters in certain movies will then be created into another movie as well. Yes, very good, Totoro. So we had a look at, I think it was heartwarming movies as well. So heartwarming cause a feel of happiness. Do you feel that his movies, Gary, give a feeling of happiness when you watch them?
Yeah.
So, heartwarming. Sometimes heartwarming can be another way heartwarming. That's a good description, that. When you have a feel good. Feel good movie, like it is at Christmas. For our Christmas, maybe Chinese New Year, you'll get something that's quite warm, heartwarming, makes you feel good. You know, we all need it. So these are sort of things like that. Let's wrap up with Spirited Away. Okay, because this one I think is a fascinating story. I'd actually like to, I might have a look into that to see, because I heard it's such a great movie. Right, Gary, if you're okay, let's just do line by sentence by sentence. So these are all numbered here. So Gary, if you may just help read through this for us, and I'll help you if there's Chihiro must be the name. Yeah. Right, Gary, just do your best, see how you do.
Okay. A family with a young daughter named Chihiro gets lost while moving to the new home. Instead of ending up at what seems to be an abandoned theme park.
Yes, abandoned theme park. Wow, sounds exciting. Monica, are you okay to
Yes.
read line 41, please?
After some very poor decisions, the family is separated from their daughter, who finds herself not alone in the park, but surrounded by many ghostly apparitions.
Apparitions, well done. Gosh.
Apparitions.
Apparitions, something existing in perception only, a ghostly apparition. At nights, apparition, yes. Hey, by the way, is it Ghost Month next month? Is that, or is it later? In August? Is it your Ghost Month in Taiwan? Ghost Month? I just checked. Ghost Month. Lunar calendar. Is it the Ghost Month begins next month in?
Yes, I think so.
I think so, August, right? I think it's, and then it leads up to your Moon Festival, I think in September. I think usually very interesting things that go on in the Ghost Month. I think it's something, it's one of the traditions that we will be looking at later on. Right, great. Okay then, Gary, if we can just help us with line 42 there, please.
This is one of the most beautiful animated films ever made, as we follow Sam's journey into the spirit world full of unique and imaginative characters where anything can happen.
You know what, I think it describes Miyazaki's movies very much imaginative. His imagination is amazing. I don't know. Where do you get ideas like he has? Unique. I would say as well, his movies are very unique. And just on that theme, what makes, if I just, do we have unique? Yes, unique, guys. Okay. Unusual. Okay, guys, another way to say it. Special. What makes his movies unique? Any thoughts there, Gary? Just the thoughts. What makes Miyazaki's movies unique? I think they're imaginative. Any thoughts there? What makes his movies so unique? Apologies for that, my script has gone. I forgot to put it back on. And yeah, just want to say, what makes the, yeah, what do you think makes it unique? Just to think, okay, is it inspiring, touching, heartwarming,
Heartwarming.
imaginative. There's so many, isn't it? There's so many ways in which we can look back at his. I'll just put this in a bit here. Yeah, making his movies so unique, and I think again stimulates, amazes, inspires. Imaginative is one. I think touching is another. I don't know if it's thought-provoking. Does it make you think about things? Before we finish, but thought-provoking. It means provoking, it makes you react. Thought-provoking, it creates your thinking. Does it make you think about things? When you watch the movie, sorry, Monica, is it only just Totoro is the only one you saw, right? I mean,
Yes, but
yeah.
I didn't see the whole movie.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything that you take away from a movie like this. Is it just escape? Would you say it's fantasy, isn't it? It's fantasy movies, fantasy. What do you get from the movie? Fantasy. I'll just ask you, Monica, what's your thoughts
About movies?
about this Miyazaki's movies? What do you think you take away from it? Is it escapism? Is that what it really is to you, or how do you feel? What do you think most people will get out of this? Escapism? It's a fantasy, or takes you to another world. So, like, I don't know, like Marvel, sometimes the superheroes do all the different things, but do you think it's a place that it just inspires in a different, I just wonder if there's anything that,
4 o'clock.
how would you say, do you feel it's inspiring, do you think, or just?
I think for animations, maybe not just for Miyazaki's animations, but also for others. Most of them teach us the good side, the bright part of human nature.
Interesting, yeah, Monica, you're right. I think,
and trying to bring us to the most beginning of our life, and it shows it shows a fantasy. I couldn't say it's fantasy, but genuine, and then, or maybe naive part of human nature. Yeah,
human nature, Monica, you're right. I think that's a very good point of view, isn't it? We have to face it that we're all human and we all make mistakes in different ways, and maybe this helps us understand ourselves, maybe, or accept. I think I think you hear a very interesting point about the beauty of the animation, the work they put into it as well. It's just the creativity is just it's almost art in itself. It's motion art in some ways. To just see the workmanship that's gone into it is just incredible. However,
maybe not just genuine, but also simple. They try they symbolize the fine, the bright side of a human, not a very complicated, not using a very complicated way. Some movie also teach us about late, but they demonstrate it in a very complicated way. Yeah, but for animations, they are quite simple and easy to understand.
Easy, yeah, maybe so. They just look at the yeah. I think that it's almost as if it's like you take the brakes off and it's just reaches out to the imagination just is released in such a beautiful way. I find some aspects to this just quite incredible. Yeah, just Gary, your thoughts here as well. Ideas that you take away from watching a movie like this. Is it, do you feel good afterwards? Is it
Yeah.
escape? Yes, it's sometimes you want to be almost immersed into the world, the feeling. It's just that they seem to have. I think he does a lot of cuteness as well. I think there's an element there of sweetness. Yeah, the very beautiful sort of maybe the community, as you said, Monica. Maybe it's looking at the more beautiful world that we live in as well, or even the interesting element of nature as well. That's that we live in. I don't know. It's something. It's very abstract when it comes to something like art. We call it abstract, subjective, abstract, subjective. It is just in yourself how you feel about such movies. Do you think that, anyway, I think we're slightly run out of time here. So it's really great. I was just going to finally just finish on that thought about the world today, where we're seeing digital movies now. Do you think that the digital movies are, I mean, the animation is as good, if not better today? Or do you feel the original ways the way they made these movies, films, do you think it's today's style is more action or more interesting? Just wonder, it's the old way. It's like Disney, isn't it? Disney World, the old style is hand drawn compared to the computer animation. Yeah, I just kind of wonder, how will we remember this? You know, it's an interesting question, because this is like Disney as well. So Disney World, it's all computer animation now. So maybe it's the story that matters the most. Maybe that's what matters. So anyway, again, subjective thoughts, subjective opinions about that. Very good. Okay, and Zona, I hope it's helpful. We have other words here: absorbing, intriguing. That's very sort of intriguing. These are some phrases. I really liked her last novel. I found it very absorbing. If you're reading something like a novel, Monica, you'll probably find something very absorbing. You cannot put the book down. It's got to get reading it through. The movie was very absorbing from start to finish. Some phrases we say. I found the storyline intriguing, interesting. I had absolutely no idea what was going to happen next. Gary, would you like to just read this one here? Gripping and riveting. Here we go.
This is a series with great characters and a gripping storyline. You will love the novel. It's riveting stuff.
Yeah, riveting. It's riveting. Rivet is like been nailed. You're nailed to the novel. The book is stuck to you. You cannot escape it. Compelling. Okay, Monica, would you like to just read these phrases then?
I found the movie compelling viewing. I found the whole series very compelling.
Great. Yes. How about that one there, Monica? If you just read those as well.
This one, I really like her last novel. I found it very absorbing. Yes. The movie was very absorbing from start to finish. Yeah,
very absorbing. You feel immersed inside the movie. Immersed. I have to put that one in there. Immersed means you're immersed. Oh yes, immerse. If I just singularize that, yes, submerged. You are like when you're swimming and you go underwater, you're covered, surrounded by it. I suppose we're immersed in air. Anyway, the idea is just so absorbed into it. I was immersed, because past tense, I've seen it. I was immersed when watching this movie. Great, guys. Thanks very much. Hope that was helpful. And we'll have another event next week as well. I believe it's something on travel, so feel free to join as well. So great. What we'll do is we'll share these words onto our WhatsApp group. Some phrases. Again, there's a link here which is added into the article, which I will share in the WhatsApp group, where you can then go to the website and explore some of these words. These are how to describe not just movies, but it's maybe art or describing things in general. But certainly when it comes to an experience, an event, then these will be useful. There's also nouns, verbs, and other phrases that can be used as well. So some of the phrases that we've been looking at, I think these could be useful for you as well. But next time, if you go to watch a movie this weekend, have a thought about how you describe it and maybe use some of these words, just like thought-provoking, okay? Maybe something to think about. So maybe these words might be useful. Great, okay. Monica, Gary, Zona, thanks for joining. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was a nice, interesting exploration of Miyazaki's movies. I hope to watch one soon. Thanks for your time, Monica. And again, great inputs, great job. Good luck with the Spanish as well. Hope that goes well. And feel free to join us again next week. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, for technology. And Josh, I think I'll be sitting in to help him with movies on Stan Lee. Stan Lee, I don't know if you've heard of him. Very, very good. We're going to look back at his life. Stan Lee, you'll love it, Gary, as well. Stan Lee is going to be great. Yes, you probably know. So interesting how he started his name originally as Stanley, and then he chopped it in half, Stan Lee. That's how his name became. Anyway, more will be revealed tomorrow on that. Anyway, Zona, thank you very much for joining. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a great evening, guys. Thanks very much. Okay, take care. Okay, Gary, thanks very much. Okay, Monica, thank you. Zona, thank you very much.